Part of receiving the blessing of God and receiving that love of God is communal, isn't it? I mean, that's why we come to church. I know when I leave church, sometimes I'm like, oh man, I have to come, I have to be here. But even when I don't feel like, even when I'm like, oh man, it just feels, it'd be nice to have a morning off. But when I come and then I meet God through his people, you guys, like, man, I feel blessed deep in my soul. I've received love and grace and affection from God through these awesome people. Do we understand that's part of it? That's part of the magic of church, part of the magic of God's community coming together is that, and we have to realize, if we're not willing to show some commitment, if we're not willing to say, I'm here, I'm in, I'm willing to be touched by your pain, I'm also willing to reach out and help relieve you of your pain. If we're not willing to do that, what we'll find that there'll be a barrier between us and other people, that people will say, this person's, I'm not sure if I can trust them, I'm not sure if I can go deep with them, not sure if I can really get to know them because, well, they're on the fringe, they're on the edge, they're too far away, it's hard to get close. Church is a little bit like a marriage. It's not a marriage, but it's a little bit like that we kind of covenant ourselves to each other and say, I'm committed. And just like a marriage, it's not easy. It's not easy. You have to work hard. You have to work really hard to say, we've got to make it worth it. But when you get through those downturns and those hardships, it's so rich and so wonderful because you say this sacred bond, this divine connection, this touch from God and towards each other that is so innocent and so pure and so necessary. But that's how we receive our healing and how we receive compassion.